Yeah, of course I figure it's always the streams like that I build up to, and then I absolutely cannot get things right on the first go. So what I said is we are playing Victoria 3. This is going to be the first Victoria 3 gameplay on my channel, and I like it a lot more than I expected that I was going to like it. I held off all day the day it came out, whether I was going to get it or not, and really, like, it's just, the sound design is perfect, the music is perfect, the time period that it's set in is perfect, and I've actually been really interested in basically the Victorian era. Come on, tell me that music isn't amazing. Come on, come on. Tell me that's not amazing to listen to. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. We're gonna go ahead and... This is a real-time based game. I'll go ahead and get into the game, and I'll go ahead and explain what Victoria 3 is, because I'm pretty sure some of you guys have not heard of it. Voting franchise, pay a vote every 4 years. Okay, so basically what you can do is you can play any country in the world in the Victorian era. So you start off in the year 1836. This is before the scramble for Africa, before the massive revolutions that overtook Europe in 1848, before the British Empire became the biggest empire in world history. And you can play as Russia, you can play as the Great Qing Dynasty, you can play as the Austro-Hungarian Empire, or Austria at the time. You can play Prussia and form the North German Confederation, which then becomes the German Empire. You can play as France, you can play as the United States. And if you actually look at the United States, you'll notice, again, this is 1836. This is before Texas even became a state. Texas did not become a state until 1846, and then which subsequently began the Mexican-American War. And you can actually see that Washington and Oregon are under British control in the Columbia District. You see that Canada isn't even a country right now. It's Lower Canada, Upper Canada, the Hudson Bay Company. Russia owns Alaska, of all places. The Japanese shogunate still exists. Joseon is a country. The Dainam is a thing. Siam. Australia has not even been federated yet. It's New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia, and then the decentralized power of Noongar. The East India Trading Company is a playable country. The Sikh Empire, Afghanistan, Persia. The list goes on and on and on. You can play as Egypt if you wanted to. The only countries that you cannot play as are the tribes in which they didn't really have any sort of centralized power. So you can play as places like Sokoto, which were like actual countries, but in places like, if you wanted to play, actually you can play the Zulu if you wanted to. If you wanted to play the Maasai, or the Nuer, or the Dinka, these are decentralized powers. Or if you wanted to come over here and play the Great Sioux Nation, then you cannot do that because they are a chiefdom. They are a decentralized power. They don't really have a government. But if you actually take them over and then release them as a country, then you can actually play as them. You can play as Texas if you wanted to. You can play as Mexico. You can play as the United States. But for the purpose of this live stream, this is going to be the first one we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing as the United States. To start off with a GDP of 29.6 million pounds, 15 million population, arable land 2.46 thousand, 45,000 literacy, impoverished standard of living. Their main cultures are Dixie and Yankee. They are a Protestant state religion, and they are republic. They are actually ruled by one Andrew Jackson. And the funniest part about this is that I've been able to play as Andrew Jackson and make him an abolitionist. So this is not only a game in which you can play as these countries, you can bend the world history to whatever you want it to. So if you wanted to come in and say, okay, I want to ban slavery in 1836, you can come over here, go to politics, you can go over to laws, and then you have all of these laws. You have your power structure, your economy, and your human rights. So you go over here, you can say, okay, we're a presidential republic, I want to make it a theocracy or a council republic or a monarchy. So actually, I've actually been really interested because I remember seeing like some alternate history thing where, or a mapping thing, it was a mapping video where Andrew Jackson becomes a king. And I actually kind of want to do that. So maybe look forward to, if someone doesn't steal my goddamn idea, or if someone has not already done it yet, I would like to make Andrew Jackson a king in Victoria 3. So you can come over here, you can change your government type, which actually I just saw this, so that's really cool. You can go to, you have power structure, so you have your governance principles, your distribution of power, basically who can vote, your citizenship, you have racial segregation, multicultural exclusion, and multiculturalism, or you can even become an ethno-state if you wanted to. Church and state, you can say, okay, we have freedom of conscience, state religion, total separation of them. Your bureaucracy is elected bureaucrats, hereditary bureaucrats, or appointed bureaucrats. Army model is a national militia, professional army, mass conscription. Internal security, you have no home affairs, so you can have a national guard, secret police, or guaranteed liberties. Or you can go to your economy, and then you have the same thing over and over and over again. So you can have no health system, and just keep in mind that you are, again, starting in the year 1836. It was a completely different time period, and the period between 1836 and 1914 was honestly one of the most pivotal events because, again, the United States enacted Manifest Destiny. The British Empire became the largest empire in world history, and we even saw, you know, the decline of the Great Qing Dynasty, the decline of the Russian Empire, and everything like that. So in this one, you can also maybe, okay, so the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, by this time, is starting to become the sick man of Europe. I think after 1600, they became what was known as the sick man of Europe because everyone knew that the Ottoman Empire was declining. And actually, let me see. It is called Constantinople. So you can zoom in and look how detailed this map is as you zoom in. So you zoom out, you're like, okay, you know, I'm looking at this and whatever. I want to zoom in on Washington, D.C. So I can zoom in and say, wow. And I actually really like how it blurs everything you see right here. You can actually even see the White House right here. You can see Annapolis. You can see what's little of Baltimore has already been made. We have paved roads. I think everyone is still, I think. Yeah, Henry Ford has already made the Model T by this time, guys. It's all horse carriages. And then you can also enact things like the slavery debate. So you go over here and say slaveholders and abolitionists are engaged in increasingly rancorous debate across the nation. Sooner or later, the arguments will stop being made with words and will start being made with bullets. So what you can do here is that you can kind of like take the mantle and say, okay, you know, I don't want to have slavery. I don't want slavery to be a thing. And so then you have, I think you have these. I'm going to actually look at these in a second. But you can come over here and you can actually ban slavery if you wanted to. So if I go over to politics, and then I can go to, where is it? So you can actually make child labor a thing if you wanted to. Serfdom abolished, legacy slavery. So you can do the slave trade. So I have legacy slavery because we said as a compromise between abolitionists and slaveholders, the institution of slavery may continue as long as it does not expand. But then you have the slave trade. So you can say, okay, instead of doing legacy slavery, which is saying there's no more, you know, expansion of slavery, you can go back and say, okay, we're going to start the slave trade right over, all over again. You can actually see people are indifferent, they are negative to it, or either positive to it. You have debt slavery, so if someone owes money to another one, then they have to be their slave to, you know, get out of that debt. Or you can just go ahead and say, okay, slavery banned, and then that actually changes the character traits of your president. So again, you start off with Andrew Jackson. I actually have a screenshot of it, and it's really funny to look at because you see Andrew Jackson, and I made him an abolitionist. He's a Dixie radical, and then you come down here, and then it's literally saying that he's an abolitionist. So imagine that. I'm gonna go ahead and step away for real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get this game started because I know you guys want to see some gameplay. So this is still more of a test stream in which I'm still learning how to play this game. So you're probably not going to be able to see that much progression. I would like to get progression in this, at least trying to figure out how to build up my military and, you know, build the economy up. So disappearing interest, we have disappearing, what is this? So interest in, so you can declare interests. Like, this is essentially a geopolitical simulator based in 1836, except it's made by Paradox. So get ready for like 1,000 different DLCs. So what you can actually do right here is releasable countries. These are countries that you can release, and then they can these are countries that you can release, and then you can play as them. So if I wanted to say, okay, I want to do something really radical here, so I can literally release a country called New Africa, and their culture would be African American. So I can say, release the slaves that are existent right now, and then they would literally take up South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and if you annex Texas by that time, then that'll release Texas. So literally the entire Confederacy of what would become the Confederacy then becomes a Afrocentric country. Or you can say, I want to release Louisiana, the Cherokee. The Cherokee would actually have Oklahoma and Arkansas. You have New England, Haudenosaunee, which would just... oh, that's the... I can't remember it. I recognize the flag, though. If someone can help me out. That's the... God, I cannot remember the name of it. Or you can release Michigan. Michigan can become its own country. And it actually tells you, like, what kind of government type it would be. So it says Kingdom of New Africa. I don't know why it says that Confederate States of America is a kingdom. But but Confederate States... So if you wanted to play as Confederate States and win the Civil War, you can do that. The Iroquois. Thank you. It was the Iroquois. In 1837, 1838, there was an effort rebellion in Lower Canada as the French Canadians wanted to join the United States. Hell yeah, let's annex. Let's annex my boys in Canada. I think I've heard of that rebellion. I can't remember the name of it. Okay, so Liberia is a protectorate of the United States. Okay, so decisions. Negotiate the Alaska Purchase. Though some doubt in the strategic and economic value of the vast expanses of Alaska, we should not pass up the opportunity to push the frontiers of liberty. Authorize a survey to map the potential building of a canal and across the Panama Isthmus. Expedition to find the source of the Nile. Hold the secret to the source of the Nile. Congo River expedition. Hold a grand expedition. Manifest destiny. Our great nation is fated to spread across the continent. So what is this? It's a claim to California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. Diplomatic incident with Mexico. Niger River expedition. And then map the American Western frontier. Ultimate expedition. And then you have all of these journal entries right here. Patronized Romanticism, the Oregon border dispute, Great Hunger, public trading, branching out, ironclads, rifling, transcontinental railway, owns all of Nebraska and California, path to liberalism. Okay, so let's go ahead and play. You'll actually see something pop up right here in a second, which is going to be the Trail of Tears. Actually pause it real quick, and then I'm gonna build. There it is. Some tooling workshops. And if some of y'all can help me out with this, like tell me how I'm supposed to play, please, for the love of God, do so. You can actually see your generals and admirals here, so you can see very familiar names right here: Winfield Scott and Zachary Taylor, one of which became the president of the United States. So you can actually see Worcester versus Georgia right here. President Andrew Jackson has defied the ruling of the Supreme Court in order to removal of the Cherokee people to the Indian Territories, which is Oklahoma. So Indian Territory is Oklahoma. What does the Supreme Court opinion matter? All we do is build a fire underneath them, and when it gets hot enough, they'll move. What's ours will be ours. And adds the Indian removal to the Journal of the United States of America. Sicilian-British rivalry. You can actually see right here that we're just colonizing a lot of these, and then so the more you colonize these areas, the more these areas will kind of start to hate you, and it actually can lead to war. Now right here you can actually see the Blackfoot. And another country that you can actually make, I think, out of Mexico or the United States is the grand old country of Deseret. You can actually see Mexico encroaching on Austin right now, so if they get any closer, I'm actually gonna... Actually, I need to help Texas out here. Take on debts. Improving relations, make dominion, regime change, open a market, conquer state, zoom to Texas, open diplomacy, just openness, interactions, improve relations, is there bankrolling? Uh-oh, Austin just fell. Henry Clay will change his ideology to abolitionist. Died in a firefight against a pro-slavery mob, which he had gathered in front of his house. The story has gone national and radicalized previously apathetic individuals high and low. Gaslight violence. Henry Clay and then Andrew Jackson will change ideology to slaver. Nope, now Texas is winning. You can actually see my boy, my main man, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, right here. You guys don't know anything about Texas history. Very interesting man. He's actually the one that they captured and ended the Texan Revolution. You can actually see populations. You can see Dixie, African American. Oh, they liberated. So you can actually see what happens right here whenever we colonize all these lands right here. From the Pawnee, Ute, and the Great Sioux. It just eats it. So you just kind of like eat and eat and eat and eat until really a war starts, or they just kind of say, okay, we give up. Which I've been able to say that the Sioux are going to be the first ones to do that. But they were able to back down from it. War is actually pretty interesting. That's the biggest complaint that I'm seeing about it, is that everyone hates the war system because everyone's like, oh my god, it's not a war game. It's not a war game. It's not Hearts of Iron 4. In accordance with the removal treaty, it is time for the Cherokee of Georgia to relocate to the Indian Territory. Some holdouts refuse to leave their homes, and many people are poorly equipped for the journey. My friend's circumstances render it impossible that you can flourish in the midst of our community. You have but one remedy within your reach, and that is to remove west. And the sooner you do this, the sooner you will commence your career of improvement and prosperity. So you can coerce them at bayonet point, which is the historical choice. Or you can say, okay, we'll give you some money to go and move out to the west, which is Oklahoma. One essentially leads to more deaths than the other. And I think it strains your relations more with the Indians than it, I guess, should. And you actually end up having to do this with like a lot of these Indian tribes. So I'm gonna go ahead and just coerce them at bayonet point. Because otherwise, then it becomes, I think it becomes way too expensive, especially for an early economy. Again, I'm still learning the game, so. The United States and Canada is communist in 1960 in Victoria 3. Let's go. Oh yeah, hang on. Pause. High tensions, no active research. This is what we need to be doing. Doing the game PG, hopefully you won't crash the economy as quick as I did. Modern sewage. Wait, 28 months to research. And if you guys have any advice, please let me know. I have no idea what I'm doing here. There's a toggle nudity in the options menu. WTF. Let me go look real quick. Game. Wait. Show nudity. Bruh. Ow. It's probably because some of the tribes don't even wear clothes. At least that's what I would, I honestly would assume. Maybe even just for some of the African tribes. Show nude, I mean... I guess not. Who the hell is gonna be nude? Oh, there he is. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of clicking it. Hang on. Hang on. Hold on. Oh, never mind. He's wearing a... He's wearing... He's wearing that. I'm really afraid of clicking some of these guys. Doesn't seem like the type of game to have nudity in LMAO. Yeah, I know. Hang on, let me... Yeah, I don't understand. Why is there an option for it if no one's naked? And I like how it's on by default, by the way. Yeah, me casually trying to find naked people in in Victoria 3. Yeah, I don't know. If I ever find it, it's gonna be interesting. What is this? This is the Tahiti. That's Tahiti. Polynesian. Some people are just like, oh my god, just play the game. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know how to play. This game is so confusing. Definitely one of the most complicated Paradox games, yeah. Yeah, you think you don't know what I'm doing. I'm the one live streaming this, and I have zero idea what I'm doing. Election in 59 days. The Democrats. You can actually do some election predicting in here. So you get the Democrats and the Whigs. The Republican Party doesn't even exist yet, by the way. The Republican Party did not exist until the 1860 election, and you can actually guess which president came in during that time. We got about 24 years until the big kahuna happens. Democrats. Neutral, genial. If you guys are watching right now and are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you are new. I'm very close to hitting 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys can help out with hitting 7,000, that would be amazing. Taiga Asaika enjoyer. Weeb. I only just noticed that name. Max, I have not seen you here. Yuka, haven't seen you. And Taiga, I have not seen you. I've actually never seen that anime. I haven't watched anime in years. Efforts to move to Cherokee has led to deaths many overland march westward. Measles, cholera, starvation. This removal has created a trail of tears and death for our people. You just hear someone crying. Oof. You can actually grant independence to the Indian territory. But you can puppet it. And it says, okay, here's a little slip of land. Kind of do what you want with it. Victoria 3 RP would be funny. I would love to see some Victoria 3 RP. I would love to see that. I would pay to see that. Okay, so let's look at budget real quick. Consumption taxes. We have a consumption tax? Dude, that is awesome! Oh, I love that! Instead of a VAT, it's literally just like, okay, just put a tax on liquor, for example, or services, or... So if I wanted to put a tax, current cost, current revenue, 24,000. I love that. You have assets, which is your principal debt that you have, and your maximum credit that you can get. So $10 million is how much credit we can get. And then we have our gold reserves. Country's weekly budget surplus is accumulated in its gold reserves. If the budget balance becomes negative, any money in the gold reserves will be depleted first before the country starts taking loans. The gold reserves can only accumulate up a fraction of your GDP before diminishing returns set in. Stockpiling gold will eventually lead to depleting your economic engine. And then you have your investment pool, which is portion of dividends collected by the populations with ownership shares is deposited into this investment pool, where it becomes available to construct buildings the country's current economic system law permits to be built with these funds. As construction of building takes place, the funds required to build them are deducted from the investment pool and are deposited in the treasury as an investment pool transfer. And then loans. You have loans that you can take in, so we have a rate of 8% interest, and then we have remaining credit, $10.64 million that we can take in loans. And then if we are in a very touchy financial situation, then we can declare bankruptcy. So declaring bankruptcy will erase our loans and bring the United States of America out of default, but doing so will have severe domestic consequences of our country. All products on construction queue will be canceled. 126 buildings will have their entire cash reserves wiped out. 249,000 populations will become more radical due to owning shares affected in the buildings. And then the following additional penalties will be applied to the United States King over the course of 10 years, which is 50% is military. We lose prestige because of it. We have a 50% loan interest rate, or plus 50 loan interest rate increase, and state construction efficiency is reduced by 50%, and that is only if we enter default. So if we are unable to pay our loans, and then we go into default. Now what I'm hoping is that service tax that we put up, I'm hoping that that is not going to be reducing our GDP. We're going to be watching our GDP very closely for the time being. We're number 6 in the world. The biggest GDP right now is the Great Qing. They have 156 million, and 64 million East India Company, 60.3 million, which is the British Empire. They call it Great Britain, I'm pretty sure. And okay, so Great Sioux Nation uprising. Great Sioux Nation has launched a native uprising against us. So this is war. So this is I think it's some sort of a so let me look. So whenever you kind of like, it's like justifying in Hearts of Iron. It's kind of like a escalation tab. So basically you have escalation. So you have a, they're escalating. And then so they have the option to say, okay, kind of gives them an option that like, if they want to say, okay, never mind, then they can back down. Except that's actually what I saw happen last time. So we'll actually see if the Great Sioux will back down from this. And if they do, then we just accumulate all of their land and don't have to colonize it. We see this right here. So this is what it is. So we have, it's called diplomatic play. And I actually really like this, where it literally shows this is the opening moves, and then the second phase is the diplomatic play, and then the third phase is the countdown to war. And I think there's a fourth phase that I saw in there. Suit confidence. So they have confidence level, relative military strength and mobilization 75, civil war, native uprising plus 50, and then turmoil in the Great Sioux Nation. The Great Sioux Nation feels pessimistic about their chances to emerge victorious in this diplomatic play under circumstances. It is fairly likely that they will back, especially if their side stands to lose a lot from a war. And then, apparently I'm the initiator, because I've been colonizing them, so which makes sense. And then so my war goal is to annex the Great Sioux Nation. And then so if you ever do this, so I actually did this against Mexico once, and if you want to do this, then you can back down and then that'll kind of like cancel the whole thing out. Another thing that you can do is that if there's any countries that are interested or have interests in that country, then they can say, okay, you can side with the United States or you can side with the Great Sioux Nation. Or what I actually saw happen is whenever I I actually kicked off the Mexican-American War after annexing Texas, and I just literally was just like, okay, I want to see what war is like. So I just kind of messed around with Mexico for a little bit, and then I finally got them into this diplomatic play. And then so what happened is that France and Britain were actually players that were kind of like, hey, we're kind of interested in this conflict. And then so France actually went to war against me on the side of Mexico, and then Great Britain took my side and fought alongside me against the French and the Mexicans. So it was it's kind of a really hilarious looking war, honestly. Kind of went into a stalemate and I didn't really win it. I didn't play for too long, so Brazil just annexed. Yeah, so Brazil just annexed the northern part of their country. And then open markets. High prices on fabric have become a prominent talking point of the Whig Party election campaign, arguing that their free trade policies would drive down the price. Don't be fooled, trade restrictions are not called protectionism because they protect you. They protect the select few profiteers, not from starvation or poverty, but from competition. They protect them from the world. And they'd have you think that they're safer with an American boot on your neck, then you would be free. It's time to stop protecting them. This is the age of the global market, or our current policies are needed to keep the economy stable. So this is 10% momentum will be added to the Democratic Party, or 30% momentum will be added to the Whig Party. So do you guys want the Whigs or do you guys want the Democrats? And whenever I say Democrats, keep in mind that I am talking about Andrew Jackson's Democrats, and not, I think, 1836. Who got, I think Martin Van Buren was elected in 1836. I think he was a Whig. Yeah. No. Martin Van Buren was a Democrat. He was Jackson's VP. So we're gonna go Democrat. We're gonna see. I want to see if Martin Van Buren is in here, or if Jackson just continues to be in the. You have a 65% advantage due to 3 units, and they have 5. You have a 48 average offense defense, and they have 8. So yeah, our offense and defense, even though we're kind of. Okay, so Democrats 3.65 million to Whig 3.2 million, so 53 to 46. Let's see who the. Ah, shit. My man John C. Calhoun. I thought. Is there a list of characters that I can see in here, so I can see if Martin Van Buren is in here? Like, I want to see like a lot of the big guys, like a lot of the famous people during that time. Charles Finney, leader of the evangelicals, has proposed outright prohibiting slavery in all our Western territories. Some opponents demand simple moderation, but others are demanding legalization of slavery in all new territories. So we have reject proviso. This remains a state-by-state issue, which is the historical, choice. We can accept it and abolish slavery in the West, or we can reject it and then expand slavery in the West. So again, this is actually one of the cool things, is that if you're playing as the United States, you can literally, it's an upfront thing about the issue of slavery. So you can literally say, okay, you can go down a historical route and then kind of like have that build up to 1860 and have the Civil War, or you can actually say, like, I mean, you can probably kick off the Civil War a little bit earlier by saying abolish slavery in the West, expand slavery in the West, or something like that. It'd be really cool if you could get your own cabinet and they would give modifiers. And yeah, but there's already so much micromanaging you're supposed to be doing in this game, so okay, let's see what these are. So we lose one with all interest groups, or we can abolish slavery and win with trade unions, evangelicals, and intelligista, or we can literally just go with the Southern planters. This intolerable institution cannot spread its influence any further. A free nation needs free soil if it is to thrive. Abolish slavery in the West. So we just abolished slavery in the West as a Democrat. Damn, I should have just gone with the Whigs. Just waiting for John Calhoun to become a I'm waiting for John Calhoun to become a abolitionist. Escalation is continuing, so we're about to go to war with the Great Sioux. So I need to mobilize Winfield Scott. We're gonna mobilize Winfield Scott to the Great Sioux Nation. So it looks like I was unable to stop the war, or to just kind of like get them to back down. It's probably because I didn't even do anything. So I have the option of backing down now. Requesting the service of their commander, Sam Houston. American relations for Texas deteriorate by 20%. Yeah, we're not going to ruin relations with Texas right now. Imagine a monarchy, American Empire. That would be funny. I know. I wanna do like a King Jackson, man. Okay. Yes. PG starts a war with the Indians. War is still extremely confusing in this game. Like, I seriously have no idea what it's doing. But we're just steamrolling the Great Sioux. So this is what happens whenever you invade, is that your flag pops up and it shows what your occupied territories are. Yeah, we are just... Oh man, I just feel bad for the Great Sioux. Wildfire? Terms of white peace. So is there still... If you wait, they eventually concede, okay. Party agrees to this peace deal. So we just wait for them to just kind of throw in the towel. Idle mobilized. How do I... Oh, there he is. Following war girls were enforced, annexed the Great Sioux Nation. So the Great New Sioux Nation has fallen, and they are now a subject of the United States. Capitulate means that you would capitulate. So I am surrendering or capitulating to the Great Sioux Nation, which would be hilarious, but United States becomes just the Native American empire. I'm gonna do that and just see what happens. Manifest Destiny is just so much closer now. So, Winfield Scott. My relations with Texas, genial. Interactions, improve relations with Texas. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make efforts to annex Texas. And we got another Trail of Tears. Ooh, I wonder if we go. I wonder if we can go force Japan to open up its trade to the United States really early. Because remember that the Japan kind of opening up its borders to trade did not happen until like 1890 something. It was during the Meiji dynasty. During the Meiji Restoration. Was it Meiji or is it Meiji? No, it wasn't Meiji. It was Meiji. Damn it. Where's my Japanese lads in the chat? Low market access in Virginia is 99%. Battalions in reserve. Sufficient tax capacity. Improved by building government administration buildings and estates. Political lens, government administration, New York. Love the sound design of this game, man. Like, you actually have this, so you have your markets. So it shows like where your markets are. So you have the Texan market, the Comanche, you have the Asharoka, you have the Blackfoot, you have the Brazilian markets, you have the Bolivian, Ecuadorian, New Grenadine markets, the gigantic just crap fest that is Southern America. I want to make a Zulu empire. The Meiji Restoration. I know it's the Meiji Restoration, but I'm talking about how to say Meiji. Is it Meiji or is it Meiji, or what route are you going for, America? I don't know. Again, I'm still trying to learn. I'm trying to go down the route of learning this game. That is the biggest thing that I want to learn is how to play this game. So this is more of a trial and error kind of thing. Meiji. Meiji? Is that it? Meiji? Here it is, unincorporated territories. You can actually incorporate it, and this takes bureaucracy. You have 159. Takes 2 years in total to incorporate Michigan since it is a homeland of the United States due to its Yankee culture. Go ahead and make Michigan a state. And Texan statehood is completed. Texas won its independence from Mexico and now seeks statehood within the United States of America. The people of Texas, having at the time of adopting their constitution expressing by an almost unanimous vote their desire to be incorporated into the Union of the United States, and it's still being desirous at the same time with unanimity, in order to provide more effectually for the security and prosperity in the United States, actually solely, but desire to add their own security and prosperity and to meet the wishes of government. The people of Texas have determined to accomplish by treaty objects so important to their mutual and permanent welfare. Welcome to America, the United States, and has now officially annexed Texas. So now we just have to be worrying about what the Mexicans are going to be planning. Which actually, the funniest thing is that the Mexicans actually did not start the Mexican-American War. So if you actually know your history, essentially what the United States did, this is the area of which Texas actually had control over and what was annexed by the United States. However, they did have a border dispute after the Texan Revolution, which basically expanded the border of Texas all the way up to like right here, up into Colorado. And essentially what happened is Texas, or I think it was Zachary Tate, that wasn't Zachary Taylor, it was Polk, James K. Polk moved U.S. troops into the Rio Grande Valley, and what happened is that the Mexicans kind of came in and they started to fire on them because they crossed into their territory, and then so the rest is history, and the United States then invaded Mexico and acquired everything from California to Texas. How do you get the Northwestern Territory? Through events, I think. Mining accident. The mining emitter is trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The accident, scale of the accident has made the tragedy story across Missouri. In a nation, they dug me out but left my friend behind. I hope wherever he's gone, it's better than here. Small price to pay for the march of industry. This outrageous abuse of the common man cannot continue. More radical. Upper strata. These mines are a blight upon man and the country alike. It's like going toward communism. Just child miners. Let's go. Jesus Christ. Based ethno-state slavery, based Confederate America rude. That would be interesting. Jesus Christ. Spain has declared Russia to be their rival. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. What's going on here, Russia? Grand Duchy of Finland. Hold on, Russia. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Apparently the Russians have just swooped in and taken Adana from the Ottoman Empire. I don't remember this in history. Oh, and the Russians are actually going into Skalinin. Sakhalin. Painting of Charles Finney. Outspoken abolitionist has been beaten with a cane by John Cal. Oh God, by the president. What? Isn't John Calhoun the president right now? Bro, no! The president of the United States beat the shit out of a member of Congress. He must be removed from office and arrested. No. What should I do? Should I remove John Calhoun? He should be impeached. So what is just they look at this in history books and they're just like so what really started the Civil War? The president of the United States beat the living crap out of Charles Finney. I was playing the Great Qing and they are so unbelievably fragile. Yeah, I know. Defending his honors. Charles Finney retires from office, or I can remove the president of the United States. For that right there is why you were the best, Calhoun. Okay, let's do it. Isaac Hull. I've never heard of this guy. Hang on, he's a rear admiral. Isaac Hull, naval officer. He died in 1843. Commanded several famous U.S. naval ships, including the USS Constitution, which was known as Old Ironsides. Saw service in the undeclared quasi-war with the Revolutionary French Republic, in the Barbary Wars with the Barbary States in Northern Africa, and the War of 1812 for the second time with Great Britain. He was for the infant U.S. Navy, the Battle of the USS Constitution versus the HMS Guerriere on August 19th, 1812. At the beginning of the war was the most important single ship action of the War of 1812, and one that made Isaac Hull a national hero. So, national hero, the guy that got Old Ironsides to beat the British, is now president of the United States. Which that's actually what I really like about this. So I've been really wanting Crusader Kings, and I just never got the time to, you know, go around and get Crusader Kings. And I still need to get a Xbox thing, the Xbox Now or whatever. This alt history is great. I know, right? And I really like this about Victoria 3 is that, like, Victoria 2, I was like, I know Andrew Jackson was president at the time, but it's kind of like I wish there would be 3D models or something like that, or even at least portraits. And in this one, it's just 3D models here. I mean, it kind of reminds me, well, actually, it looks exactly like Superpower 3. So I really, really like that about this, is that you can actually see these historical characters. Hudson Bay Company is still around today. It's a retail store in Britain, not a different one. Not a different one, but the same one with the one that owned parts of Canada centuries ago. Let's go. George Simpson, Governor General of the Hudson Bay Company. John McClellan. City of Plenty, let them celebrate. It's more like, oh yeah, there's a lot of prosperity in New York, like, you know, high rises and everything like that. So it's just like, CK2 is the best Paradox game, LMAO personally. I think I have it on Steam because they gave it out for free. Taxation level. Economy's just kind of stagnating right now. Let's go see what's going on in the Ottoman Empire. Oh god, Russia's gonna become the third Rome. Who was in power at the time in 1838? Let me look. Nikolai Romanov. (1836) Nicholas the First. That's what I figured. Yeah, he's the one that kind of looks funny. He was the one, I think, after Alexander. Yes. Nicholas the First was the one right after Alexander the First, and Alexander the First was the one that led Russia to victory against the French during the Napoleonic Wars. There was Alexander, and then there was it wasn't a revolution, but it was like a coup against Nicholas the First, because there was someone after, it was like the actual heir apparent of Russia, and he actually declined it, so it went over to the to Nicholas. And so there was these it was like at a secret underground society in Russia, in the military, I think, and they called them the Decembrists. And so in 1825 the Decembrists rose up and tried to install it was Constantine. His name was Constantine. And they tried to install Constantine as Tsar, since he was the heir apparent. And they liked Constantine a lot more. But that coup attempt failed. And then so Nicholas I became Tsar of Russia. I like history. I'm sorry if you guys are just like, dude, shut the fuck up and go play. Stockpiling gold. Let's go. Assets. Yeah, that's what I like to do. I just like to... Well, excessive stockpiling with gold causes gold price to rise. You got... buys you the equivalent... Wait, so... Gold reserves can only accumulate up a fraction of GDP before diminishing returns set in, because stockpiling gold eventually lead to depleting your economic engine. You can actually see right here, here's a culture map. So you can see Mexican, the Hokan, and this is the funniest part about this thing, is that whenever you open up your borders, you can actually see countries start to become hilariously drawn. So I actually opened up my borders one time as the United States, and whenever I opened up my borders, you ended up having all of these Central Americans just move in to like Kansas and Nebraska, and then it was just hilarious to look at. There's actually, I can't remember his name, it was Isoro Productions, and I watched a video of his yesterday, and whenever he was playing as Australia. And whenever he was playing as Australia, you had like all of these Mongolians, these Chinese, and everything like that. So the biggest downside of this game is like, if you're looking for a little bit more detail in the military, you're not going to get it in Victoria 3. If there's a lot of things that need to be fleshed out, especially the immigration system. But yeah, so at least for right now, I would like to keep my borders closed. That way it doesn't really kind of like make some really weird, because I'm not really trying to exploit the game. I'm just trying to, I just want to play it sort of historically. That's why I take my time a little bit more. John Ross's petition. Chief John Ross, one of the principal Cherokee chiefs, has pretended to petition Congress asking them to avoid a treaty which compared the Cherokee to relocate to the Indian Territory. This petition is almost getting many signatures in the entire Eastern Cherokee population, and by the stipulation of this treaty, we are stripped of every attribute of freedom or property may be plundered before our eyes. Violence may be committed on our own persons. Even our lives may be taken away. There's none to regard complaints. We are denationalized, we are disenfranchised, we are deprived of membership in the human family. The treaty is a treaty we cannot rescind what we have signed, and our conscience compels us to avoid the removal treaty. So we have Rofa gets accepted a petition of John Ross for 5 years, so that we lose 2 in the interest group approval. And further removals will be stalled for 3 years, or we can continue with the removal. And so this is actually where you can say, okay, you guys don't have to move, and we can, and again, it's more ahistorical. Treaty's a treaty. I want to go down the route of where I kind of like don't force the Indians to move to the west, and then see what happens. So that's what I want to see. Populations, buildings. I want to see where... Because apparently these things can have cash reserves. Yeah. So these things have cash reserves. You can actually look specifically at states. And then so you can see like how much cash these buildings have in this country, in this state. You see whether they're cash reserves are going down, how much employment they have, and workforce, and everything like that. You can see who's trading who. Not subsidized. So you can subsidize it. Or you can change ownership status. Education, 25% assimilation. Colonial affairs, what is this? 700. What is this? Bureaucracy. Actually, military, since the admiral became crude admirals. Matthew Perry, let's go. I know that man. That name. I want to colonize the Caribbean. Hey, Haiti. Want some money? They're wary of the United States. Caribbean is wary of me. Oh, look at that. This United States of Central America just collapsed. Guatemala. Let's improve our relations with Guatemala. Markets. Okay, so opening the market. Oh, it's a war goal. So I can make them a dominion. So if you actually look at the, so start to open the markets. So I can, these are diplomatic plays. So the diplomatic plays basically like the round up to war. So I can say if I want to invade Guatemala, for example, I can want to open a market there, or I can make a dominion or make a puppet or even just conquer the state entirely. And so if you actually look, it says we believe these countries may join either side or remain neutral. So we have Great Britain, we have Mexico, we have El Salvador, New Granada, the Mosquito Kingdom, Honduras, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua would join either side. Start of play, we'll have these allies, which is the Indian Territory, obviously. So do I annex? So I can annex the Indian Territory right here. You join either side or remain neutral. So the Great Britain, France, and Mexico could choose a side for the Indian Territory. And actually, another thing that I thought was cool, if you actually go over to Hawaii, Hawaii is a playable independent power. I think that was Royal Britannia that just played. So if you actually come over here, it's King Kamehameha. And yeah, by the way, I think that's where they got the name Kamehameha. Like if you guys have watched, what is it, Dragon Ball Z? It's like Kamehameha. I don't know if that's exactly where they got it from, but yes, there is a historical figure who was the king of Hawaii, and his name was Kamehameha. So I think this is Kamehameha the Third. I actually would like to play Hawaii at some point. There's also a tag for African American nations, so consider that too. Yeah, Liberia is actually an African American nation. Growing out of bounds and will eventually be overstretched until we can ensure sufficient bureaucracy for all of them. Further institution growth will halt. Okay, so we'll cancel the expansion. (1839), so there is an election next year. So I think we're going to go with the Whigs during that time. So we would be Henry Clay. Politically inactive population 12 million. Let's pause this real quick. National militia. Peasant levies. That worked out so well in Russia. Like the bureaucrats till separation, presidential republic, parliamentary republic. You see slavery, no migration controls. We can just force the borders closed. Colonial resettlement, no colonial affairs, colonial exploitation. Let's invade China and just go for their labor force. Poor laws, wage laws, and old age pension. Legacy slavery, slave trade, debt slavery, or slavery banned. So we cannot ban slavery yet, but we can enact the slave trade, or we can just go after debt slavery. Child labor, restricted child labor, compulsory primary school. So they must attend primary school for which they are prohibited from working. Public schools, private schools, religious schools, no schools. Per capita taxation, land-based taxation, consumption-based taxation. Okay, so we can do a consumption-based taxation. People definitely don't want to be taxed on their land, though. I gotta love this. I seriously did not expect to like Victoria 3 as much as I am. I genuinely did not expect to like it as much. Like, honestly, it is just very, very fun. And I really like it, especially with how many laws you're able to kind of change and how many things that you're able to kind of like affect in this game. Like, it's amazing. Exactly. The music captures the atmosphere of the game. Like, the music is especially my favorite part. Like, and that seriously, like, what really surprised me is, like, just especially I have surround sound in my room, so whenever I'm just kind of like playing, like, I love certain tracks, and it sounds so perfect. Like, it is such a good game. They did such a good job on it, and I really didn't pay attention to it as it was coming out. I really didn't want lead to glass and polymer glass with the appearance of crystal, which is sought after due to its value. Let's go. But yeah, like, I don't know. Keep in mind that this is a Paradox game, so So not only will there be several future patches and DLCs that will add a ton of content, but they're also an active modding community, like, very active. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's just a lot of competition as a content creator out there, so. Everyone else is going to be going watching, like, Isora Productions and IST, which is the same guy, but whaling industry. So what is this? Slaves. Not politically inactive, I wonder why. Pennsylvania. Logging. So I guess, auto expanding? And it just gets you more money. Uh-oh. Wait, what's going on here? Is this the Ottoman Empire? Is the Ottoman Empire just in a civil war? Like how Oman is just casually holding on to Bandar Abbas. Is there a way to look at active wars right now? Go into the interactions tab. There it is. Oh, it's oh, I'm a fucking idiot. It's Egypt. I was like, I know I recognize that flag, but I couldn't think about it for a second. So apparently Egypt is just casually invading Tripoli and the Ottoman Empire. Don't tell me Egypt's about to become the next Rome. Hold up. Has escaped his estate and fled to the northern Free State. Hull has demanded his return. But abolitionists are calling for his demands to be ignored. We shall find and return Isaac Hull's fugitive slave. Free soil makes anyone free. Isaac Hull get no help from the government. He's the president of the United States. Isn't that what's supposed? Oh man. Slaver's appeased for 2 years. Abolitionist unappeased for 2 years. It's only natural that it would be returned to him, right? I simply ask what's mine is to be returned to me. Why is it causing such an uproar? Don't beat him, don't. Free soil makes anyone free. You're just colonizing crap out of a lot of these guys. Paul won't get help from the government. Isn't he the government? That's what I was saying. He's not getting help from no government, even though he's the president of the United States. I'm gonna go ahead and build some forts on the frontier. Political, diplomatic, naval base. So buildings, army, activate. No. What is this? This is 45 offense. So I need to go over to trade. Construction sector, move market capital. Ammunition. Cannot import ammunition to the American market from the American market. So we're going to ask for, I guess, ammunition. Import trade routes for ammunition from British market. Situation. Research. So that research. Act freedom of conscience. Election is in 18 days. So the Democrats. 1840 campaign. I would like the Whigs to win this one. Action lens. You can also put tariffs to protect your needed resource. Technology, there it is. Nitroglycerin. So it's automatically researching a lot of these things. Steam donkey. Improved fertilizer. Nitrogen fixation. Dynamite. Let's go. Yeah, so nitroglycerin is going to go into dynamite, which is going to make mining a lot better. Fractional distillation. Canneries. This is like a Tropico on crack. That's what this is. The late game far right parties start to appear, sponsored by the petite bourgeoisie. For example, in Germany, the Mustache Man Party was supported. I just like how you said the Mustache Man Party. Is it called the NDSP? NDSAP, whatever? Is that what it's called? 5 months until nitroglycerin is done. Cultures. Comanche, Dixie. African American. Oh, looks like Denver's a city now. Actually, it is. We're just about to take it from the from the Arapio. Actually, we're starting to colonize the Utah. Pawnee. Open diplomacy. There's nothing we can do to really accelerate the colonization, right? Election in 37 days. We're going to go to the election. We're going to see if there's anything we can do to make the Whigs win. Outliner, journal, central archives. Oh, here it is. Grand plan pays off. What did he do? So reap the rewards. 30% momentum to be added to the Whigs, or the United States of America shall reap the rewards. Gets national dividends for 5 years. Shit! That's so good, but I want the Whigs to win. Henry Clay. Oh, that's that guy. God damn, that's actually a really hard choice. We'll reap the rewards. Hopefully something else comes up right before the election. That way we can get the Whigs to win. No! Gold has been discovered in South Dakota. The region can now support additional gold fields. Buildings, urban center. And we can build an urban center. Unused gold fields. Gold. Well, 4 more years of Democrats, I guess. My God. Intelligista. Reform the government. Let's get the Whigs in here. Wait. Evangelicals want to join the Democratic Party. I think they want to join. Holy shit. decrees. Aw, hell. Ah! Shit, I forgot this is 1841. I forgot the Civil War was coming up. Shit, bleeding Kansas just happened. Border ruffians cannot dictate law. Kansas must be a free state. Or Jayhawkers do not decide what is right. Kansas will be a slave state. Kansas will be a free state, and then force the weird guy to step down. State actions, incorporate states, or change the capital. So I'm gonna call for Wisconsin, Kansas, and Texas to become states. Change that in a second. I want to deal with the Ute. Little generals. Zachary Taylor. Field Scott. Okay, so I'm actually going to save this. What's up, King Tiger? Shit, I need to make sure that Winfield Scott's even going to get there in time. Just short. Oh god, that was quick. This is the first country you play? Yes. And we're just gonna wait for them to surrender. Uh-oh. Oh, hold up, hold up, hold up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Looks like the Hudson Bay Company is about to go to war against the Iron Confederacy. Player neutrality. Legion says, okay, so this is actually where you can do. So if there's another war that's about to set up, you know, and you're like, hey, I have interests in this area, then you can actually use it as a reason to go to war against the Hudson Bay Company, for example. However, if that were to happen, then, you know, you'd probably have to deal with the British Empire and everything like that. So you can say support the Iron Confederacy in this diplomatic play, or you can say it's kind of like undermine it, leaning toward the Hudson Bay Company. I'm going to go ahead and declare my neutrality. This diplomacy will not be possible to rejoin the play later. Yes. I'm going to do 1812 all over again. Oh, look, a mobile game disguised as a Paradox game. Boo. I like it. Hot take, I like it. Have you ever played Victoria 2? Yeah. I really tried to get into Victoria 2, but I just could not understand how to play it. This one is a little bit easier, and it kind of feels better to play. Okay, so the Ute just surrendered, so we just annexed all of this land. So really now, the only thing we have to do now is just go to war with Mexico and acquire Manifest Destiny. Then, you know, we would have to kind of negotiate with the British over British Columbia. Honestly, I would really like... My goal would be to acquire the Columbia District, as well as Yukon, and then Alaska from the Russians. Okay, it looks like the Hudson Bay Company just went to war against... They beat him? Canvas of ideas. Set up paper import. So trade actions, import, glass. I want paper. You should be able to buy Alaska. Where's paper? Hang on. Buildings, rural, wheats, banana, opium, construction. Is paper even a thing, or do I have to be importing wood? Oh, there goes the Pawnee. So the Trail of Tears event just happened. And then... you can make a paper. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. I'm just trying to find paper, honestly. Mutual funds, identification documents, anarchism, nationalism. Central archives, IDs, central planning, mass surveillance, steel frame buildings, elevators, zeppelins. 6 years to research, yeah. We'll wait on that. I'm not gonna dedicate 6 years to researching that shit. Locks publicly traded for steel mills. Doesn't care. 6 years. Okay, so we just have to go through here. Realism, 4 to 7 weeks. We'll do that, and then we'll missions, set up paper. Goods are paper, market. See, I can't even find paper. Ah, paper mills, god damn it. This is more of a green line go up in politics. Yep. Whoa, what happened here? Oh. South Dakota just has 0 access. "21 years to become a state? Jesus Christ." And there goes the Iron Confederacy. That might have something to do with your colonial policy. Where is it at? Governments, institutions, colonial affairs. How do I get this? You cannot increase your level 2 in this institution. Yeah, I know, but how can I? Economic system, immigration controls. What is this? Foreign cultures are discriminated against unless they share both heritage and language or other customs. All foreign cultures are discriminated against. Foreign cultures of different heritages are discriminated against. Here it is. No colonial affairs. Public schools. And shit. And I know a lot of people really don't like this game because of the what do you call it? The military. Honestly, I don't know. Like I genuinely enjoy this game. Like Victoria 2, I honestly like the military, how the military kind of plays in there. Because it actually took me a little bit before I finally realized it. And it wasn't until I really started to get into the Victorian era, which, speaking of Victoria, I want to... Yep. Let's go. Like, speaking of the... Like, it wasn't until I started to get into the Victorian era, whenever I finally, like, kind of turned back to Victoria 2, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty interesting, because it genuinely is actually a really interesting period in time. Oh, looks like the Ottomans are beating back the Egyptians. But like, it's... I understand why people miss the previous thing, and maybe they'll go back to it, or someone will make a mod for it or something like that. So I'm not really worried about it. But I just, the atmosphere of the game, the period of time that it takes place in, and honestly, it's really good. I genuinely, and I mean, if you even watch my channel, all I play is line go up simulators. That's all these games are. Geopolitical games are, it's literally just line go up with a side of military. At the customs union, trade agreements start protecting. Yeah, the Central American. United States of Central America just completely collapsed. So New Granada is a thing. How do I get a trade agreement? I need to start preparing for the Mexican-American War. It's so pretty, and Glen Go Up does bring a lot of dopamine. I also like the new system where it tells you what ranking is your factory. The same day of launch, I had a mod that lets you make a freaking Daki Makura and T-Doll from Girls Frontline Factory. What? Yo, it's Aqua Waifu. I'm gonna call this stream soon. Should I just declare an interest over Mexico? Wait, shouldn't I just like declare an interest over all of America? Strategic region, strategic importance. I'm gonna declare an interest over Central America. So historically speaking, shouldn't I declare an interest over like Mexico and Canada? Yo, it's Deseret! Let's go! Let's go! Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh. Installed a feminist presidential republic. Oh man. Initiator cocky. Uncertain. And right now, we're just gonna hope to God that the British and the French don't take a side except on mine. Oh, thank God. We're making a massive breakthrough into the south through the Rio Grande. Just realized that I haven't even mobilized these guys. Control the coast, raid convoys, naval invasion. Went through Veracruz. Not at war with the United States of America. All the things to start right now. We do not need a civil war. I think I'm having a supply issue. We just captured Mexico City. And Mexico just got cut in two. Just casually waging the Mexican-American War. Ironically, around the time that it should have started, so. Okay, so we're gonna... No! No! I wanted to annex your land! No! Shit. No! Just lost all of that. Unity and tradition, 28 days. Wait, the Whigs won. Hang on. Henry Clay, let's go. Oh, man. No possible diplomatic play. Truces with the United States. Embargo. Open diplomacy. I guess it's because we have a truce with them is why I'm not able to... 1849 is whenever that'll end. Yeah, I'm gonna have to restart it because... I'm gonna have to restart that because I want to conquer Mexico. So, okay, so... I guess in the future... don't do that. Especially on a defensive thing, because... more. So go down. USA U2. So go over here. Allegiances. Declare my neutrality. Yes. Conquer Mexican Texas. So now that I know that I can actually win any conflict against Mexico, so long as the British or the French don't join. So we're gonna wait for the escalation. Crap. Mobilize. Advance. Zachary Taylor. Advance. Then we need to recruit another general. Thomas Jessup. And in the south, Bradford. Bradford, mobilize, mobilize. Advance. Bradford, advance. Get them to the front right now. Oh, thank God. Oh crap, I just messed up again. Okay, one more time, and hope to God that this doesn't screw anything up. Okay, declare neutrality, go to Mexico, interactions, Mexican Texas. Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, and then so Winfield Scott, mobilize. Go over to military, barracks, Navy, Army, recruit generals, Redbird, Jessup. No. Wonder what happens whenever I do that. Sway countries. Oh, shit, the French are gonna leaning toward the Mexicans. It's probably because of the amount of things that I did. Let's see if the French go to war with us. If they do... Cool. So it is just us and Mexico. France did not join the war. We actually did an additional claim to Baja California and Sonora. I don't care about finding love on the best dating site, dude. The anti-Masonic party included in the United States? I don't know. And then... There goes the Mexicans through the Indian territory. So we should be able to march straight down into Mexico City. And actually, we're just kind of covering our northern flank right here. I wonder if I can try to get the Guatemalans involved. Okay, I guess that's during a diplomatic play. Really, once we get the border with Mexico secure, then really it's going up north. Oh, I like how it tells you the dates. Fugitive slave. God, Isaac Hole just cannot. Yeah, we are just steamrolling the Mexicans right now. Mexico City is about to fall. Nationalism is spreading. See, the war system isn't that bad. It gives you some pretty good detail right here. Shows you how the war's going, everything like that. United States of America versus Mexico. ACW, what is ACW? Following world wars were enforced, so we conquered Texas. Oh, you sons of bitches. I knew I fucking forgot something. No! I swear to God, I'm gonna restart this all over again just so I can get that little sliver of... Actually, I don't think it wouldn't even let me. Because I think I ran out of like political points because I spent it all going after Sonora and Baja California. God, I fucking hate these bots. So is there any way that I can literally just get this little sliver of land? Yeah, cheat. So I can... Where's the console command? How do I... Because I'm not going to go after... I'm not going to go after Mexico just for Mexican Oklahoma. Discussions, ultimate guide. General error. I like how there's one guide called Industrial Society and Its Future. Story or lore, walkthrough, gameplay basics. Victoria 3 console command. Pressing. Oh, apparently it's through, you have to enable it prior to launching the game. So let me save this. Exit the game. Then Victoria 3 betas. Where is it? General tab, launch options. Oh, open the game in debug mode. That's literally an option. Use construction sector to boost your GDP. Okay. I'm going to do this real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call this stream for today. Streamed long enough and gotten enough done, and we finally... I did at least want to do the Mexican-American War, so I'm glad that we at least got the Mexican-American War out of the way, and then so in the next stream, we're definitely probably going to be heading toward the Civil War. And then so I'm gonna assume... I get so many fucking spam calls. I'm gonna assume that... Ah! I don't know. That just annoys the hell out of me. I'll be honest, I was here because ACW keeps saying that, and then you don't explain what it is. Oh dear, we have 2 errors. Wait. Province ID. Okay, I got it. Ah. Annex X155091. Fuck. I didn't mean to annex all of Mexico. Whatever. I'll figure it out, and y'all will definitely see it gone in the next one. Exits. Main menu. Alright. Continue. Achievements unavailable have been disabled for this save game. Screw you. Alright, guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever I do make it. been streaming this for nearly 3 hours, about 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours now, like 4 minutes short of 3 hours. And I honestly really like it. I really like it. The sound design is amazing. It's just honestly a very, very good game. So, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys want to see more of Victoria 3, I will definitely be doing it on the channel. So definitely do tune in for some more Victoria 3 in the future. I will be continuing this USA save game whenever I get it fixed, you know, whenever I'm not having a little sliver of Mexico in Oklahoma. So, yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care. I like how I had to repeat that. Yeah, always a screw the ending of these streams. Anyway, see you guys.